Please identify needs, module, characteristics of effective learning. This video is about why the characteristics of effective learning are important. The characteristics of effective learning are a statutory requirement in the EYFS 2012. What this actually means is, though, that we identify the learning dispositions of the children and we provide for them within the environment. The opportunities that we put for the children, the resourcing, and all the activities we make available both inside and out will allow us to let the children demonstrate how they feel comfortable learning, what kind of things they use when they're learning, and what kinds of things they can develop and how they develop their thinking. This is all about you providing the opportunities for them to develop learning, embed skills and become independent learners. It's always a good idea when you're watching the children to consider the environments that you're offering, the opportunities you're offering, and reflect on the vocabulary used throughout the characteristics of effective learning. The more familiar you become with the specific vocabulary used, the more able you will be to see in your environment if you're providing the opportunities, and the more useful the language will be when you're writing your observations and reflecting on next stages of learning. The same child can develop different characteristics at different times, manifest one more than another, be less able at one than the other, but they all link together and eventually all children will show you all of them. For example, there are challenges in this that might involve the adult's lack of understanding of what these look like, how characteristics are demonstrated in the environment, and how children are able to actively show them to you. If you're not familiar with the characteristics of effective learning, you need to review the pages in the Development Matters for your reading material. As I say, these are statutory. So when an Ofsted inspector, for example, comes into your environment to do an inspection, they will be looking to see that you are developing learning through giving opportunities for the characteristics of effective learning to develop. If all the characteristics of effective learning are being supported and developed for the children in your provision, then they will become well-rounded learners who will achieve in future life throughout their schooling and will be higher attainers when they come to assessments at the end of each academic year. What are the challenges of this? Well, quite often people don't realise that the opportunities that they are to develop through the characteristics are actually statutory. This means that provision can become quite limited and children aren't given those opportunities to develop their learning dispositions. Again, it's about time. It's about time to reflect on your environment, to look around the areas inside and out and see how they are actively supporting each of the characteristics that will come to in turn. Sometimes as well, practitioners don't really understand how to develop the characteristics. If you refer to the guidance that you will find in your Development Matters documents, it gives you some very good examples of what practitioners can do and what the environment can reflect. My advice would be to use the Development Matters to support the children in involvement and engagement, and look at the different opportunities that you can offer. There are plenty of ideas and examples within the document that you can read, and it will help you to develop an effective knowledge. A good way of doing this as well is to use the language of the characteristics throughout your observations so that you can directly see how the children are working. For example, do you have a woodwork table and a workshop area in your environment? If you don't, I would really recommend having one or the other or both of these and have real tools and real equipment within it. This will enable the children to have experiences of how tools operate, how things can be joined together, how things can be taken apart, screwing up, unscrewing, etc., etc. Be flexible, but allow the children time to investigate. They will be developing many dispositions to learning through this, and you will be surprised what you find out they can do. It will also show them perseverance in developing their own little projects and an experience of succeeding in developing their thoughts.